when he does something, he's done it. Did not his word say, forever thy word is settled in heaven? That's it. His word doesn't change, and nobody can change it. Not one of us have a monopoly on God. I say it this way: it doesn't matter how much you pray and fast. If God has settled something, that's what it is. Amen, somebody. How many know God is the ultimate judge? Now, just like when you go to court, whatever the situation may be, as long as the judge is sitting on the bench, he or she is listening to the arguments of the plaintiff and the defendant. But when that judge sits down with the gavel, he or she is going to give a sentence and bang that gavel, and you can't unbang the gavel. That means it's done. And when God issues out justice on something, when God issues out judgment on something, it's done. His word is settled in the earth and in heaven. And he's not going to undo it for any of us. Woo, come on, somebody. I remember hearing my pastor used to say, God is not going to change his word for you. How many know he's not going to change his word for us? He is faithfully just. He is faithfully direct or intentional. God does not just shoot and then you just happen to fall into what God has said. No, it don't happen like that. God knows every star in the sky. God knows every galaxy that man doesn't know. God knows everything about what's going on with all the worlds. And then on top of that, he knows every hair on top of your head. Amen, somebody. And so when he speaks a word to you, when he has something that he's doing for you, when he's bringing something to you, he didn't mean it for the person sitting behind you and you just happen to get in the way. He knows who he's talking to. And he knows what he said. You and I can put our trust in the faithfulness of his word. Amen, somebody. You know, I go back to when the Lord had called me into pastoring, and I was working over at Toyota in Lawrenceville on the 60-40 line. There had to be about 14 of us on this assembly line. And we all were working. We all had different jobs, but we were all working on the assembly line. Now, with all of us working, everybody's thinking about whatever they're thinking about. But at the top of the line, me and God are having a conversation. God wasn't talking to nobody else on that line but me. Y'all hearing what I'm telling you. Everybody else thinking about, boy, I'm hungry. Boy, I'm tired. Boy, I'm this. Boy, I'm that. And me and God down there talking, he telling me, I'm calling you. I'm using you. I will anoint you. And I'm crying, the tears coming down my face. Because God is talking to me. He wasn't talking to us. He was talking to me. Let me tell you something. God knows how to visit you in your dreams. God knows how to speak out in the church. God knows how to speak to your mind. God knows how to interrupt your thoughts. He knows how to talk directly to you. And he's faithful like that. He will talk to you. How many know what I'm talking about? Some people think, oh, it's just a coincidence. It ain't no coincidence. God is talking to you. May I share this one? I'm going to keep on. Sunday we preached, is there no balm in Gilead? And Miss Jillian, who I talked about, was sitting over here, and I just think the world of her. She was sitting over there, and after church, she came to me. She said, I really needed to hear that. Everything you said, I needed to hear that. I said, thanks be to God. And today, she texted me, she Facebook messaged me. She said, Pastor, where did you get that phrase, is there no balm in Gilead? I said, I got it out the Bible. Hello, that's why I preached it. She said, Pastor, they talking about it in school this morning. I said, okay, wow. I said, what do you think this means? She says, I feel like God is talking to me, telling me that he's here. I said, that's exactly what God is doing. It's not coincidence. God speaks. He talks. And it's a direct hit when he says something to you. Are y'all hearing what I'm telling you? He is faithful. He is faithfully sensitive to those things that are most meaningful to him. Somebody says, well, now what does that mean? You know, we all have our value systems of things. But how many of us recognize God has a value system too? And sometimes the things that we don't think are that important, sometimes are very important to God. Are y'all hearing what I'm telling you? Sometimes I want us to Selah that. You know, Selah means pause and reflect. Sometimes the things we don't think is that important are very important to God. And one thing about